Being 6:30, the Conservation Committee for the Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026, 6:30 p.m. McDonald Brown Conference Room is now open. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for May 19th.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we have a new public hearing for 0 Spring Street and 0 Manley Street. I'll read that in. I notice under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40 MGL, as amended, the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaw and rules and regulations, and the West Bridgewater Comprehensive Stormwater Management Regulations, the Conservation Commission will hold the public hearing on June 2nd, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, on a notice of intent, 0 Spring Street and 0 Manley Street, for proposed construction of a roadway within existing Spring Street layout, as well as a new industrial road along with utilities, grading, and stormwater management systems. All right.
Can I just make a comment before we get going?
Yeah, go ahead.
For the audience, this is a notice of intent, meaning they would like to do it. There's been before no committees, no commissions, we haven't looked at lots, we haven't looked at grading. It's just saying to everyone, this is kind of what we'd like to do, and we'll go into all the detail, you know, in the coming months.
But you can, at the end, you can ask any questions, whatever you
Sure,
want it,
sure.
so. So go ahead.
Thank you, folks. Scott Farrier from Holmgren Engineering, representing MJM Construction. As you said, we've got a project before you tonight for a couple things: the construction of Spring Street, the reconstruction of Spring Street, I guess you'd say, and then the construction of an industrial road that we have called Horsepower Road. So it's a little bit of a different situation than what we normally see for a subdivision. Spring Street is an existing layout that kind of runs all the way through the forest and out here off of Walnut Street. The first portion of Spring Street is constructed mainly to provide access for 255 Walnut Street, the building that's kind of down from the hill a little bit off of Walnut Street. So what we propose to do is to bring Spring Street up to subdivision standards as much as possible, up to the greatest extent possible for Spring Street, and then come on to Horsepower Road, which we'll be constructing in compliance with the stormwater, the subdivision regs for an industrial road. Along with that, there's a few wetland areas that are either on our site or abutting our site that give us buffer zone situations. We've got a wetland area right in the front here where the billboard is between Walnut and Route 24. There's a wetland area that you folks approved during some permitting back in early 2000, I believe, on the abutting property, and then also a wetland area down at the bottom between our Horsepower Road and existing Pearl Road, the residential subdivision off to the east of our site. Everything else, the design meets the stormwater regs. Everything pretty much runs downhill from Spring Street, away from Walnut Street, away from Pearl Road, and kind of runs all the way to the back into the watershed area. We have a large detention basin proposed at the bottom of our cul-de-sac that'll handle all the runoff from both Spring Street and Horsepower, and also any runoff that's currently coming from Pearl Road in a southerly direction towards our site. So the design we have, we feel like it meets all the stormwater regs that DEP has, all the stormwater regs that West Bridgewater has. We've submitted to planning board. We had a public hearing, I think last week or maybe the week before, for our first public hearing. This is our first public hearing with you folks. It has been sent out for a peer review, so we're working through those changes that we have now from Pat Brennan, the town's consultant. But this is the original plan. The changes that in the review that we had from Pat Brennan doesn't really make any significant changes, no changes at all to the layout of either Spring or Horsepower. So besides kind of nailing down the nuts and the bolts of all the engineering, this is pretty much what we're going to be looking at. So again, it's just for the construction of Spring Street, the construction of Horsepower. There's no construction proposed on the lot that we would be creating at this point. once the subdivision is approved by both you folks and the planning board. At that point, Manny will have to decide what he wants to propose out there, and we would come at least before the planning board for site plan approval, and potentially in front of you folks if that development fell in the buffer zone.
So,
Any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
those wetlands that were approved in 2000.
Those ones are pretty accurate.
Are they?
I've checked the new ones. We are working through the ones on the Pearl Road side. Again, I know the plans are in flux. I know the highway department commented, and I'm assuming the water department and fire department will want to see a connection made between the Pearl
Yeah.
Road dead ends and then the new horsepower road stub.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
I
there'll be
should
a
have brought
temporary
that up.
wetland crossing required, put that loop for the hydrant, and the water service in.
Could you point that out, please?
Sure, I'm just flipping through it now. So this is the end of Pearl Road, the existing residential subdivision. Our cul-de-sac is down here from Walnut Street. There's about, I don't have it there, but about 1,600 feet of road total to the end of our cul-de-sac. The water department and the fire department always want us to loop water mains so you don't have dead-end water mains for pressure, for cleanliness of the water, and just for fire protection for the whole neighborhood. So right now, Pearl Road is on a dead-end main. Ours would be on a dead-end main. So as Tim said, the water department, the DPW, and the fire department has asked us to loop our water from our cul-de-sac out to the cul-de-sac at Pearl Road. When Pearl Road was approved back 10 years ago, whenever that was, there was provisions for a utility easement at the end of the cul-de-sac leading out to Spring Street. So they already made provisions for that water main to be looped, if possible, at some point. So in order to do that loop, we have to temporarily cross the wetlands to get over to the Pearl Road part. So they would be installing the water main and then restoring the wetlands to how it was prior to construction. So it's a temporary wetlands crossing, not a filling, not a replication area, not a replication situation. It's just a temporary wetlands crossing to get the water there.
What's the condition of Spring Street?
In this situation, it's, I think it's a path in places. It's, in this area, it's not anything significant.
Size of like a walking path?
Yeah, it's a walk.
Yeah.
It's a walking
Yeah.
path, it's not like.
I think over,
weird.
Okay.
in years past, I think the former planning board chairman had said he can remember driving his cars all the way out to Walnut Street, but obviously over time it's kind of closed back in, so I don't think it's passable, certainly down in this area.
Further down, the ATVs have opened it up pretty good.
Right.
But it is an ancient way,
Right.
so it's on the books still.
Yeah, yeah, it's an existing public way.
So the purpose of this is gonna be putting in a subdivision, if possible, if that's, everything works, or what's the whole?
I wouldn't say a subdivision, it's industrial zoned, it's not residential zoned, it's industrial zoned. That entire side of the property is zoned industrial, nothing residential, but in order to get a permit to build out in the industrial zone, we needed to create frontage. We don't have enough frontage or the building square that West Bridgewater requires as the lot exists now. So the only choice we have is to build this 800 feet of road, so we can then get the frontage we need at the setback and then the building square that your zoning requires. So we basically gotta build that 800 feet to get the one lot that's already out there.
So it's basically just that, you're just gonna, supposedly, you're gonna put something up back there, an industrial
Exactly, an
warehouse
industrial
or
use.
whatever, possibly if this goes through.
Correct.
So there's no other,
No further division really in the industrial zone. There isn't that much of a reason to divide property. You can have multiple buildings on one lot, so there's, we, at least at this point, we don't anticipate any further division.
how far away is the wetlands?
Well, that's the wetland, the 50 and the 100, so the road itself and the actual basin is 250 feet away. So this section of horsepower is entirely out of the 100-foot buffer
And
zone.
you're gonna create that basin?
Yes,
The prior section isn't.
right,
Spring Street,
the beginning section falls within the buffer zone. as I said, the front corner at Walnut Street in Spring Street, has buffer zone impacts up in this corner, but then the buffer zone, from that existing wetland at 255, creates the 100-foot buffer zone in that area. So really just that section of Spring Street. Again, once we get onto Horsepower Road, our proposed road, it's out of the 100-foot buffer zone to both of those wetland areas. So it's just that reconstruction, I'll call it, of Spring Street.
And you're gonna redelineate the wetlands?
On this side, yes. Yep, the other ones have been flagged and reviewed at that point to make sure that they're
There
still
were two
there.
different sets of flaggings done on that at different points, and both of them were within feet of each. So I walked where the flagging was done, and it's pretty comfortable that it was accurate, and still is accurate. It was the Pearl Road side that
This big
was
one
the
here.
new side that was looked at.
Where's the 50-foot on that?
It falls into the old Spring Street road layout.
Yep.
The 50-foot, so it's always been quote-unquote disturbed.
But it's just dirt, right?
Right,
So
I mean,
that could
it's
be-
gonna,
That could be
with the
moved and
upgrades, it's
shifted
gonna
out.
become paved and have,
So it could be shifted out.
Yeah,
of
the,
the
the,
50.
the problem that we have with Spring Street, as Tim said, it's an ancient way. It's an existing public way, it's an ancient way, it's only 33 feet wide. So we don't have the flexibility to shift the pavement one way or the other, within that, for that industrial road being only 33 feet wide, we're pretty much stuck with the road being right there.
So it doesn't have to, what size has it gotta be to be up to date?
it doesn't meet the current standards for
Right.
road layout.
Right.
But because it's just like River Street, doesn't meet the current layout for width,
But
so.
you're gonna have trucks going down there, possibly. So,
Yes.
I mean, you're not gonna have a 33-foot wide road, are you?
It's proposed to be 26 feet wide.
26?
26 feet of
You
pavement.
can't move that out of the 50?
If we move it, then with the curbing in the grass strip, there's just no room
How
to
far
move it.
down does the curbing go?
Well, the
Is there
curbing's
curbing on
only,
there?
is only
Is there
6
curbing
inch.
on there now?
Yeah, no, not existing,
So
on
you
my
have
plan.
to be putting that all in.
Yes,
So before that happens, you could move the road out of the 50.
There really isn't enough
Yeah,
room for the
I mean,
I
layout,
don't
for the
understand.
grading and everything, I mean, it's,
because
Why
with,
isn't there enough room if
Okay.
you're gonna put a new road or the existing road, just make it?
because it's 33 feet, we've got 26 feet of pavement, then we've got the curbing on either side.
So what's on
And
the
that-
other side of the 33 feet?
That just leaves you 2 feet to be able to grade to the existing property.
But what's on the other side of the 33 feet, on either side of the road?
On this side is the homeowners association strip of land
Okay,
that we can't touch. And on this side is the abutting property at 255 Walnut Street that we can't touch. So we don't have the option of expanding the layout of Spring Street. So we're stuck with that 33
will there be
feet.
a replication plan possibly for that?
I mean, it's a small square footage in the 50-foot buffer zone, but we can certainly do a buffer zone enhancement plan. We've got, I mean, again, when you flip back to this page, we've got plenty of room to do it, so we can certainly have our botanist come up with a buffer zone, restoration plan. We can talk to Tim about, exactly where he'd want it. We've got plenty of land back here that we could do it in, if that works out best. We've got plenty of room to do it, so we can certainly do a 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1 enhancement area.
And that's out of the wetland?
Yeah, we've got plenty of room outside of the buffer zone that's really not gonna impact, the
Good.
development at all, so
Okay.
we can make that happen.
How many acres in total on the site?
42 acres.
And it looks as though if going forward, I know you don't know what's gonna go in there. You're probably gonna use 2 acres probably, right?
Yeah, 2 acres,
mean,
5 acres, whatever it is. The
that
vast
40
majority is,
42 is gonna be used for something, I assume, isn't it?
Or would you be,
I'm sure that,
or would you be willing to give that up to the conservation?
No.
no, it's 40 acres of, no, so, yeah, realistically, it's gonna be used, sure, yep.
So that could just be possibly used in the future for coming off of that road right there, off of Spring Street. Horsepower.
Coming off of our
Well,
road.
you
Yeah.
could build in there, I
Yeah.
mean, there's
Yep.
plenty of land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the,
And is that all industrial zone too?
everything is,
Everything is in
it runs parallel to Route 24, so this plan kinda shows you a better idea, but it runs parallel to 24, and it's
Okay.
1,320 feet to this side is the industrial zone.
Okay.
all up and down 24 in your town.
You could still put homes in there if you wanted to.
Yeah,
No.
You have to rezone it.
No,
You'd have
Not
to
a-
rezone it.
yeah, it's not allowed in industrial zone, and it's,
Yeah, so just a
Yeah.
commercial.
I don't think that would happen.
I don't think so either.
No. I'm sure we don't want to do it, but I don't think that would
Okay, I
happen,
wouldn't
if you
wanna
wanted to do it. Yep.
So just tell me again, please. There's gonna be industrial, big trucks coming down that small road?
Yes. Yes, industrial trucks, sure.
But you're saying they really don't fit.
No, I'm not saying they don't fit, I'm just saying the road is only 33 feet wide. They still fit, it's just, it's a 33-foot wide road.
I live on River Street, and
Yep.
the big trucks don't fit on River Street, that's why I'm challenging it.
Yep,
Well, I mean, it's zoned, so the trucks are able to do it, so.
So there's
It
nothing
is.
we can do about that.
As long as it fit on the road, yeah. So.
Okay.
Scott,
Just
how far
checking.
down Spring Street are you planning on paving? Just a horsepower road?
yes,
You're
exactly.
showing that extending down.
Yep, nope, just to there. We've talked a little bit with the fire department, whether they want a little bit of a hammerhead there, just so they could potentially turn around, so the snow plows could turn around, but for right now anyways, our plan is just to pave it right to the easterly side of horsepower.
Okay, and you're showing Spring Street extension. Right
Up
now
at-
it's a gravel path.
up at the-
You're not
exactly.
paving that,
No,
correct?
no, again, we don't have any rights in that, that's the homeowners association.
So from that point right there, down the rest of the Spring Street path,
Oh, yes,
is that, what's that zone?
that part of it's zoned residential.
Residential?
Yeah, that whole, so this chunk of land that MJM owns, that's all zoned the wetlands,
Wetlands, yeah.
that part of it, but that's all zoned residential. And again, it pretty much follows straight down, heading south,
And it eventually goes into fish and wildlife owned property, so paving
on
it
both
would,
sides,
yeah,
yeah.
paving it probably would not make sense at
Right,
any point
right,
in time.
exactly.
And just possibility of future not being able to build down there either,
Right, there's,
So-
yeah.
just won't do it.
Right.
I guess I'll open it to
So,
the,
One quick question, it's, you bought this, Manny, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You bought the land, so the owners that I see on there used to be the owners, that's who you bought it from?
Yes, Mr. Gerber. you said.
Gerber, yeah.
Correct.
so I'll open it to the audience if anybody's got any questions. Good.
Patrick Melvin for 255 Walnut Street, West Bridgewater Realty Trust. Question to the chair, to the board, is there any other precedent recently that the board has approved with a request for a lessening of the width of the road, like they're asking from 60 that's required down to 33? Again, I could look it up, but I'm wondering if you have any history. The only concern I have is what this young lady said about the width of the road. The applicant has not said what he's putting back there. Multiple buildings, one building, we don't know. Traffic, and again, as I said at the planning board, I had a lot of questions for the planning board, but the traffic and the truck drivers that are out there, without knowing what's going back there. Has the board said yes to something like this, or in its history?
I can chime in on that one. That falls under the planning board's regulations, not conservation regulations. I can tell you, some of the newer subdivisions have asked for reduction in width of road layouts. They still end up maintaining 24 to 26 paved width. It's just the full layout is not the 40 or 50 foot normally required. And that's where this is coming down to the 33,
Sidewalks, things
because
like
that's, they're still leaving the amount of pavement as much as they can to the regulation. It's just the road layout itself. They have to constrain all the drainage, the stormwater, the utilities have to fit in that footprint.
So what's the regular width of a basic road
Industrial.
Yeah, I believe it's 34 feet.
for industrial?
Yep, and then with sidewalks, our road, obviously, we're not proposing sidewalks, so we save the 6 feet of pavement from the sidewalk also, so. Yep.
That'd have to be the planning board, yeah. You have to talk to them more about it.
But just, there's already trucks going down Spring Street.
Yeah.
So whatever truck traffic may or may not work, they're already going down Spring Street, so.
They're going to the property, not traversing it anywhere else.
They're already on Spring Street.
Right.
Yeah, using the building that's there
And
now.
that building in the corner.
Yeah, right here.
Anybody else got any questions?
Artie Lucas, 10 Pearl Road. Am I correct in saying that they're asking for provision to move into the buffer zone?
To work in the 100-foot buffer zone.
I basically have a question, like I'm on the opposite side, and I wasn't even allowed to put my pool within the buffer zone.
Of what, the 100 or the 50?
The 100,
Of-
or the 50.
He's in
Yeah,
the
50.
The 50 is
He's in the 50.
basically you stay out of it, but
Yeah,
but
it was
if there's
within 100.
replication of being able to work with the person, we will allow that if that's possible.
It's previously
It's
disturbed.
just
too.
it's already previously, it's not like it's a brand new subdivision or whatever going in, and then it's just like, you have to be careful on that.
I hear what you're saying, and I don't know if we have to allow work within buffer zones on public ways. I don't know if a private developer is able to pave a public way. Those are good questions for the planning board.
It's already paved.
This all the way down to,
It's already paved all the way almost down to,
Almost.
show them
Almost.
the section.
It's not paved where that green buffer zone
Paved up, you know, up to this point.
so
I'd
up to
say.
the buffer.
Yep, the buffer zone.
But if
So
we
I-
wanted them, because you know how it goes into the, like I was asking, it goes into the 50. We did ask if they would be able to replicate that area for work, even though it is disturbed, and they're gonna disturb it more, the replication would benefit us, the conservation and the land for work in that, well, in that disturbed area. So,
Might be access issues, too.
Phil
I'm
Armstrong,
not
16
sure you
Pearl
could
Road.
have
Just to be
access.
clear though, the 50-foot no touch, you could say no.
yes.
If,
Well,
if it
well,
hadn't
it's-
been disturbed.
Right, it's already.
The other problem here is, if we said no to them doing this, it'd be considered a land taking. We have to allow them access
Right.
to upland property, even if it's through the wetlands and the 50 and the 100. We can't say no to that. They have to replicate it, they have to come up with buffer enhancements to help mitigate the disturbance they're creating. But we can't say that they can't go through it to get to upland. So that's why the
True.
chair had said, what was the options for the 50-foot no-touch disturbance in our local bylaw that they can mitigate?
Have you ever
It's an
seen
option.
houses where you drive along the road and the house is back there, but you see like a bridge goes in to get in? That's probably all wetland, but you can't deny access to that property
like
back
saying
there. But
you
whatever
own-
they take, they have to replicate somewhere else.
You
on
can't
the
stop
property.
somebody from, you own 10 acres of land, even though it crosses a wetland, they have the right to get to that property and work with that, I mean, it's their right. We can't stop them, but we do have ways to work with them to mitigate with replication and building proper structures to be able to get to that without having to worry about harming the wetlands to the point where it's animals or anything like that crossing on the regular, disturbing their living area, so. we-
As a rule, we're very strict on those.
Yeah, we don't like to,
As people can
the
attest.
50-foot is not something we'd like to give away and say, okay, yeah, go ahead and do it. We've stopped that before, and they've had to come back and redo a whole subdivision just because we did not allow that to happen. Whether it's from here to 50 feet, they'd have to work around it, so, I mean, we don't allow it if we don't see it fit to work for us, but I mean, this being previously disturbed, it is a working road, and they do have the right to get to that property. So, even though it's a little bit, but we can tell them to work, we could tell them, a 3-to-1 replication area, or 2-to-1. It's usually 2-to-1, sometimes we do 3-to-1, it could be 4-to-1. I mean, they could do a lot more than replicating it in our benefit for the town and the property of the land and all that.
But again, notice of intent, we don't know what Manny's gonna do, he probably doesn't even know yet, but, it's probably not gonna be a dynamite factory or something like that, so.
But it is good to allow you guys to come in and ask questions, because we don't know just as much as you guys don't know, but they are letting you know something is gonna happen. So we give the option to give you guys the questions. Go ahead.
So, and that was 24 Fir Road. So what you're saying is the undisturbed land is the Spring Street Road. And he can access that, but with horsepower,
Yep.
that's a completely new road.
And that's entirely out of the buffer zone.
So the wetlands just mysteriously split like Moses did the sea right there? where
I'm not sure if it's
horsepower-
mysteriously, but that's how it is, yeah.
Yeah, they do go on, we do flag the wetlands, they go on and flag everything. I mean, these, back in the day, these probably fields that had high roads that going out to lead all over, I mean, yeah, like you said, it did split, I mean, it seems kinda weird, but that's just the way it is.
And my other question is there any industrial business that you guys would be concerned about
Sure.
that he would bring in?
If it affects the conservation land
So my question is,
surrounding.
how does someone invest almost more than $500,000 buying the property? I think they said it was gonna be like $300,000 for the road. And he's saying he doesn't know what he's gonna put in there. I mean, isn't that a cause of concern?
Well, Manny's has a lot of property in town, and he knows the rules and pretty much what he needs to do.
We do know a property on Manley Street that was proposed one thing and it was changed over 2 more times into this monstrosity.
As long as it fits to where it's supposed to, works on the thing, and sometimes it's aggravating that something changes, but something, property owners or business owners, they might all of a sudden not have the money and not be able to do something, and somebody else comes in and buys it and does something else.
It's gotta meet the zoning regulations,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if you
Matter
go to
what.
the industrial, if you go to the zoning bylaw, any of the allowed uses in the industrial zone, it's gonna be one of those 10 or 20 allowed uses that are in the industrial zone.
That's why there's other boards in town too that they go through too, so, to make sure everything works right.
I will say that the reason I'm sitting on this side of the table is because I was sitting on that side of the table for a project that was getting built behind me that I had issues with. So I appreciate you guys all for showing up. I think this is great. I saw you guys on the planning board meeting, I watched that meeting, you guys did great. The applicant seemed like he was willing to work with you guys as far as putting up trees and everything else. And I would say just proceed, like anything could go there eventually, cause we're all not gonna live forever, and who knows the next person after Manny, could be anyone doing anything. So,
Part of the concern was that this was told to us that it was gonna be a spot for parking 18-wheelers. Now, number one, it sounds as though the road is gonna be a foot narrower than it's supposed to be for industrial trucks, is what I just thought I heard.
No, it'll be,
The
The
pavement
regulation
portion I
side.
thought was gonna be,
It's less than what would be allowed under a new roadway.
okay,
but
so,
it's an existing roadway though,
okay.
so.
So we're adding more traffic, adding possibly industrial trucks that are gonna be within a foot of people's properties.
Now, don't hate me for saying this, but that's what I always say to some people, that you don't know what's gonna happen in the future, you buy at your own risk.
Yep.
You could put in subdivision, and like we said, some out back it'd be like, oh, this is great, we got woods, there's nothing to worry about. Next thing you know, they can come in, they can cut down all the woods and put in another subdivision or something else.
No,
You just gotta take that, but I mean, it's not,
think
we
we
can't stop
understand.
it, but they are gonna have to follow the rules and the regulations of the industrial.
It just seems strange that we're going to allow development on a piece of property that we don't know what the business is going to be.
But here's the thing, sorry to interrupt, but here's the thing to the board and to the person that's asking the question is, we are spending the money to get this all developed, which Scott's happy to take my money. But at the end of the day, all we're doing is we're getting frontage for the property, because then we still have probably another year or two, or maybe more, of delineation of the property that maybe goes in there, sir, and maybe I only have 1 acre in the middle of the property that we don't have. I took this at my own risk, so we don't know what we can actually fit. Could we fit a 100,000 square foot warehouse? We don't know what we could fit in there, so we may be able to fit a 1,000-foot warehouse, and that's all we have to work with. So for me to spend all this effort of developing the next piece of land, if we can't even get to the first piece of it, that would be senseless for anybody to spend money. So it's a risk that I'm taking, but there's no guarantees that there's gonna be anything. And as far as the parking lot for 18-wheelers, that was never said. It was said it was possibly gonna be contractor based. It could be an AI station, it could be whatever it is, but there's no parking that was ever said, there's no use for it that I even know that's even come up at any meetings, Scott, has it come to you? So this whole speculation of truck traffic, narrow roads, the wetland splits, this is what I have that's been handed to me. There's no made up stuff. As far as trees or whatever, to replicate conservation, whatever it takes to make everybody happy, I'm willing to do it. So I'm not here to put up roadblocks, I just want the truth to be told, like, we don't know what's going on in the next phase, and that's the honest truth.
So my name's Melissa Rico, I'm 50 Pearl Road, and I just have a question because I'm a homeowner that abuts the conservation land on the, so I have some concerns about drainage, but the most important of all my concerns are the wetlands. It's your purview, you're the commissioner for the conservation area, that's protected area. So I think there should be a MESA review, and that should be part of whatever planning phase, that should be absolutely implemented. We had a swift bird that is vulnerable that was spotted last month in West Meadow Woods, and we should be honored to have this protection of these animals that are right in my backyard. And so I just wanted to make sure, as part of the planning committee, that to make sure that it's in your purview to make sure that those regulations for those mandated birds and animals that are in those this whole area, the wetland is all protected. You guys are very well versed in what's protected. And there are animals that are vulnerable, and they are also on the federal list that were spotted in West Meadow Woods last month. This is factual information, so I just want to make sure that's on the table in addition to all the rest of the planning and drainage. Like, this is protected land, and that was part of the appeal for why I bought the property.
Yep. I mean, we take that into effect. I mean, we got spotted turtles that actually they have to do, like up on Lincoln Street. They had to do a whole area for nesting areas and all that stuff, just for those spotted turtles for the natural,
The cow wash.
the cow wash, yeah, all that stuff that's going in there. Yeah, we do take into effect all that stuff for the natural heritage wildlife.
Yeah.
They-
So
the
the
map areas.
Massachusetts Endangered Species Association
Yes.
review
They
has
all-
to be implemented before any of this work gets
Yep.
done, because the common swift
Well,
bird.
no, I mean, go ahead. Tim, you can speak more probably.
No, if it falls in the ACEC, Natural Heritage has a review process.
Yeah.
Yep.
As part of the whole permitting that goes through.
I think you're referring to the whole area, though.
Yes, because you're abutting the conservation space that is protected, correct? And there's a lot of initiatives happening in place right now with all the initiatives with the Bridgewater, just merging all the things. So there's a lot of initiative and a lot of work that's happening in the state to protect these animals.
Of course.
So that has to be also considered.
Of course.
Besides all the planning and the drainage and all the things, this also is important.
If it definitely falls in that jurisdiction, we do.
That's why I'm bringing it to this meeting, this purview, because that's your area.
Even I think even when maybe put in your development in where you guys are,
Exactly.
that probably all looked into before that was all done.
Absolutely. There's been a lot of growth since then.
Mm-hmm. Which is
So,
nice.
Yeah,
And we,
which is why it's protected, right? We should be honored to
Yeah.
have this land.
oh yeah, and we don't, if
Yeah.
it does fall into that jurisdiction of that, we do have everything.
We're lucky to have that in West Bridgewater.
Yep.
Not many towns can say they have protected wetland, that
Yep.
have species that are protected. It's
We-
very rare to have.
We try to protect as much as we can, so.
Yeah. Continue to do that.
The confusion becomes, and I was explaining this to my wife the other day, between wetland and wetlands.
Yeah.
If people say, oh, that land is wet, well, yeah, it is wet, but you can fill it, but it's not wetlands, it's wet.
It all comes down to the soils.
Well, the thing is, like, where my property is, it's right on the conservation. It's right
Are
on
you
the lake.
right across from that area there? on
She's gonna be
Pearl?
right about here.
Okay.
Up in this house here, maybe.
No. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
Number-
you're the first one after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
First one
on the
after
first.
septic
After the
system.
septic. And that's
Yeah,
another
so this-
concern of ours. We just had to shut our septic down in Leachenfield down for 3 weeks, and we had, we just assessed
Welcome
the
to
street.
homeowners,
Yeah,
right? I'm
$30,000.
in an association too, so I know.
So that's been part of our concern, is whatever development they do, is more water rushing towards our
Well,
leaching.
They won't, no, that's all considered when they
And the whole-
decide.
that's the whole purpose is for that not to happen. If any, sometimes it does work out better for the homeowners where it actually makes it better.
Yeah, I just touched on it quickly when I started, but the watershed area now all drains in a southerly direction, so there isn't much we can do for the houses that are on Pearl Road, but behind the houses on Pearl Road, their property is draining off towards Spring Street and toward that wetland area. It's all gonna be intercepted in our horsepower road and gone through our stormwater management system, cleaned,
dumped into our basin and then released,
So
so
that's working better
yeah.
for
So
everybody.
nothing's draining back towards Spring Street in the north direction, it's all
Oh,
heading
no.
south.
So I've had drainage issues, I still get water in my basement now, but the bylaws within my HOA, I cannot have a sump pump put in. So drainage is a big, important factor for me as well, because if that, whatever way that it's draining to my backyard. You can see this on a rainy day. There's pools of water back there, I still get water in my basement, that's now. So in addition to like moving forward and whatever plannings,
And you have a pool back there?
I do not have a pool, but it looks like one after a couple of days of rain, so.
Just as a
Yeah.
little aside, and not very familiar with my own bylaws, they're not that hard to change. So
Oh.
if you could get a bylaw change to put some pumps in,
I'll
it's not hard to do.
I think what she's saying is we won't allow it into the septic system,
Yeah.
but she can't pump it out into
Yeah.
the wetlands.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd echo that concern down, even further down Pearl Road to 21. There's
So how
lots of
long
water.
have you always had this here? Always had water in it? Even when you bought? Welcome to West Bridgewater.
Yeah, we have several homes, I live across from the apartment buildings on 106 and Captain Carlson Way. There's a ton of water in there. I have none in my area, my house. Next door, she's pumping all the time. So,
Yeah, it's one of those things you gotta,
And
yeah.
it's part of the reason we've talked about in other subdivisions, with newer construction, we build everything way up here, that's why everybody's front yard is way up, and
Yep.
everybody has walkout basements to get back down to the natural grade.
Right.
Because of the way you do perk tests now that we didn't do back 30 years ago, is to look at the models in the soil. Back in the day, you could do a perk test in August where you didn't have groundwater down to 12 feet.
Yeah.
And that's what you designed your basement on and your septic system on. Nowadays, that is within the water table, and it wouldn't happen under new construction. So newer houses shouldn't have any water in the basement because of the perk tests that we do on all these roads.
Ours would be built quite differently.
Yeah, exactly, everything gets built up, that's why everybody's got a hump.
Good.
Yeah, Justin Howard, 5 Pearl Road. What additional reviews are gonna be taking place as a result of this presentation from the Conservation Committee? Like, you said at the beginning of the meeting that, you know, this is the presentation and then there's gonna be additional reviews by different committees. What is going to be done specifically under your peer review after you have this presentation?
Go ahead.
So at this point, I'll reach out to National Heritage. It will also go out for stormwater and their design for the stormwater system is part of the review process. In any replication area, I'll be reviewing that myself.
Yeah, there's no detail on that at all.
Right.
Right. I mean, this is, again, as Scott mentioned, this is the first shot across our bow, and it's what he's got to start with, and this will be at least a couple times, probably have revisions to it.
Yep.
Has the commission ever mapped the other 40 acres? I mean, I would assume you guys wouldn't go out there for wetlands unless you know development's happening. So for all we know, of those 40 acres,
I have no records on file that it's ever been delineated or walked or checked. There are, I believe, a few wetland areas that DEP has identified on its mapping. They're generally off by 200 to 300 feet a lot of times. So it's just a general, and that's, as Manny and Scott said, they don't know exactly where the wetlands are on there and how much there is until he hires somebody to go out and delineate it and actually walk it and flag the hole.
which won't be done until this road is approved.
Right.
Yeah, that process hasn't gone yet.
Are we able to get a copy of these like proposed plans or just so we can look at it?
Sure.
Okay. And then if they do, and it may have been discussed at the prior meeting, you know, about, so that there isn't that dead end where they tie in and drain. I'm at 23 Pearl Road, so we're at the very end, so that's where that property easement is, and that's my backyard. So, you know, there's going through my yard or behind my yard to actually add, you know, this tie-in and pipes and stuff like that. That's a big thing for us. I mean, I have a golf course there
Yep.
and a basketball court, and that's why I bought the house.
If I can just answer that, Mr. Chairman, we talked about it a little bit,
Okay.
I think a little bit at the meeting,
Yeah.
but a lot after the meeting, kind of
So-
privately between Manny and the abutters.
Yeah, forgive me if I'm being
Nope, that's fine.
repetitive.
And really just to bring the commission up to speed, for the Pearl Road subdivision, they left an easement to get to Spring Street, but the easement is on her property. It's a 20-foot easement on her property. So we said, if the homeowners would allow us, we would take that 20-foot easement on the other side of the property and run the water main there. It's an extra 10 feet of pipe. It would still be getting to the cul-de-sac, it would just, wouldn't be on her finished property that she has all her landscaping, it would just be on the other side of her fence essentially. But we can't do it on our own, the homeowners association would have to grant us an easement to do it. So it's really, you know, as Manny said, we're willing to work with everybody on everything. That's not up to us. If the homeowners will allow us to do it, we'll slide the water main off of her property and onto the homeowners' property, but it's totally up to the board.
You guys.
Otherwise, it
The
has to
homeowners
stay
board.
there.
That's where the easement was created when you guys and the planning board approved the subdivision back in the day. So if they're willing to move it, we'll certainly do
What
it.
was, would you say you have basketball? And
Yeah,
was that put in after you bought it?
Yes.
No.
What?
She bought
No,
it that way.
yeah, I bought it that way,
So
no.
that was all, you were the first owners of the house?
No, we just bought it in May 28th of 2025.
Okay, so somebody was there before that could have put that in,
Yeah.
not realizing
He put
that
that
easement.
That there was an easement there.
So they
Yep.
did it over the easement. Not to saying it's your fault or their fault, but yeah, all right, now you're gonna have to work with a homeowners association with these guys to give the permission to
Shouldn't be
allow
a
it to
big
move.
deal, I wouldn't think, no.
I mean, you don't want it dug up, so.
No, I know, like that's
So
my
I'm
big
sure
thing,
you're
like,
okay to allow it, if it works, it works.
No.
So there should be no problem there.
okay. That was,
But that's the thing, is like, some people put in things in the backyards and don't say nothing until all of a
Yeah,
sudden
it's too late.
situations like this come up and you're like, what?
And you don't
And
need
I
a
catch on
permit,
those things, is like,
Well,
what
yeah.
did you do?
you don't need a permit for a basketball court
Nope.
or a putting green or anything like that, you just go ahead and do it.
But
So,
something
even
might
though it's
happen
under an
down the
easement,
road
right,
and you
yeah.
might have to dig it up
Yep.
and it's not anything you do.
Yep.
But, anybody else? Yep.
One more question, please. I put a phone call into Scott regarding flagging done on my client's property regarding the wetlands and the new delineation that's gonna take place, I believe. Will we be notified of the botanist going out to their property? And my second part of my question is, do they have rights to travel on our property to flag without our permission? Because the conversation I had was very cordial with Scott about future flagging. All we want is a notification, we want a representative from our side there while they're out there. But when we walked the property very recently, we found flags on our property all over the place. It looks like somebody's been out there, and my client had no knowledge of it happening.
It's that wetland area there, and as I said, when I spoke to them a couple of weeks, or a week ago, we were on his property, flagging it, and I should have notified them, so that was my mistake, I apologized more than once. We have no reason to be out there again.
I was
We're
gonna say,
not
there should be
stepping
no
on the
reason to be
property.
on their property, right?
Exactly.
It should be just
Yep.
on their property.
Yep,
So,
we shouldn't have been out there, I shouldn't have had, the crew out there on his property, I said that, my mistake.
So again, just for the record, we will be notified upon the next delineation that goes out there?
if it's on their property, no, they're just gonna go out and do it on their property.
Could I humbly ask the chair to ask Mr. Ferrier to notify us if he is?
That's
Yeah,
something
I
that.
can let you know when we're
Yeah,
out there, sure.
Thank
but I
you.
mean, you can also come back in too, at the next meeting after this is all done, and see where the delineation is on their property.
I guess my
I mean,
concern is that.
so you want them to notify whoever, that they're gonna go out on their property and delineate their property?
Correct. And again, I guess my concern is when we go down there and we just walk the property and all of a sudden we see flags on it, like somebody was on here,
You're walking their property?
our property.
Right, and I said,
Yeah, and that was,
Yeah,
I
no,
know
I
where
know,
your
but in the
property-
future, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
avoid.
it won't happen again, I know where your property
Okay.
is, we have it on our
Okay.
GPS, it won't happen again, I've said it a few times, it was my mistake entirely, I apologize for it, we won't be on your property again, there's no reason for us to take one step onto your property, it won't happen again.
if
Very
they wanna notify the abutters, you guys can, about if you wanna go out and flag your property. I mean, that's up to you, but if you wanna go out and flag whoever's out
Our
there
own
flagging,
property, right,
then you don't have to.
Yep.
But I mean, if you
Understood.
want to, then feel free to let them know.
yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I guess the story is more to come
Yeah.
as we go along, and you'll all be notified, sir.
And feel free to come in, because this is great. Because everybody should have a say
Will
in
we
what they say.
receive notifications anytime this development is going on, or is it something we need to follow on the website?
So going forward, once this hearing's opened, tonight, the commission will set the next hearing date. You won't get notified of a new hearing, you just have to follow this next date, and then
On
you
the
can check the town website, the calendar to see
I didn't
the
know about
agenda.
certified letters coming
But
up.
if there's, the next phase of the project,
Yeah.
once they develop it, you will get another certified notification to that next phase of it,
Okay, thank you.
going forward.
Correct.
And when does that stop? When do those notifications like that stop? I
So,
mean, they don't
Well,
send
the
out
hearings will keep-
certified every single time.
right, they just,
Yeah.
right, at the beginning of the hearing,
Right,
when we open it.
okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we'll sit.
My recommendation at this point is to hire the 53G.
Yeah.
I know the planning board's already started, he's already started some of the stormwater review. And my second one's gonna be a continued hearing to the 16th. Or do you wanna go to the
That's
July
June
21st?
16th. No, we can try June 16th, I
June
think, yeah, we're far enough
Okay.
along.
Could you explain to the audience what a 53G is,
The
please?
53G is an outside peer review that's done by an independent third party that the commission hires to do work on our behalf, and it's paid for by the applicant. So it's not at the town's
That
expense.
answers your question on, at least for the construction, there'll be peer review.
Everything will be reviewed under the 53G to make sure everything goes to the way, the steps that they're supposed to be going. So, all right, so I'll entertain a motion to hire a 53G.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll entertain a motion to continue to June 16th.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So feel free to come in 16th if you guys want to.
And I will say, anybody that wants copies of this, you can just email me, thay@westbridgewater.gov, and I can send you a digital copy. And once I have your contact information, as I get updated plans, if you wanna request those, I'll just add that to the list to send out, so that you can get those as well.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
They could have a homeowners association.
Al, where's
meeting
your
right now.
house?
I know.
Where's your house? You're on
The whole
Pearl
street.
Road too? All right. Yeah. I didn't know if you were an old timer in town or not.
New timer.
New timer. Sad news about Peter, huh? Sad news about your assistant, Steve.
How are you?
Assistant died.
He was supposed to be my retirement, but he said I'm not ready to take it to the. It must take a while longer now. Yeah, I was.
When the building started, you went there. 9 Pearl, that's up at the front. It's an early building.
Pictures of putting framing up, because we were living in a temporary with
I was living in California when they built mine. I wish I was.
Been going all the way around.
They made
And it's all so much commercial now.
I'm just worried about you.
No, we also.
Take it
All right,
easy.
Al.
Good to see you.
Good to
It's
see
a big
you.
warehouse
Yep,
now.
yep,
I live right across from it.
yep.
There's a lot of wetland crossing to get that road through there today.
Yeah, you should've kept,
Yeah.
driving all these years. It would've been a
Can
lot
you
easier.
still drive from the other end down to
No.
the waterfall?
I think ATVs I think
ATVs
could,
can.
but you
I
can't.
mean, if you had a small Jeep, you might be able to get through
it.
anyway.
Small Jeep and determination. You'll get there.
I own this one there too.
Yeah. That's it.
Mandy may own that
Yep.
pretty soon.
Yep.
That's what I wanted to see, cause I was thinking
Yeah, 'cause
clearing
he's
it
got
and
this piece
putting the
right here.
contractor building.
Right.
Yeah,
You just gotta get to it.
yeah.
You know,
So
you
I
gotta
got
have a way to get there.
I'd have him clear it anyways.
Yep.
You're not allowed to get
All
there.
it is money.
You said so. I heard you earlier.
I know.
Just
gotta be able to get there. This is owned by,
Might take a little bit of money to get there, but
Yeah.
Yep,
You
yep,
can
all
get there.
local maps. Yep.
Well, we own where, used to know where that big warehouse is, so he knows.
and it isn't bought back.
I don't think he can.
Somebody should.
And again, it's all.
How big is
land,
that
so
piece
I
of
don't
property
think
there?
It wouldn't be worth anything, to be
How
honest.
many
That,
acres?
that he's talking about, I think it's 3.
3 acres? Oh.
I had visions, cause we owned that other road off of West Street, up at one time putting this road and connect to that, run right down the side of 24.
Yeah.
But we couldn't do nothing with it, like,
Let these like people get on with it, I guess.
so we just sold it.
Alright.
Could have done it 50 years ago
Yeah,
before the
before the
Protection
Protection
Act.
Act came in.
Yeah, that was you waited too long, that was the problem.
Yep. All right, have a good night.
Thank you, good night.
All right, the next one is continue public hearing for 0 Bryant Street. And anything on that?
Yes, you got a lot of excitement.
Really?
All right, so as you folks would remember, I don't know, 2 months ago, we'll say, we're before the commission with a plan to come in off of South Street and come down and cross over the existing cart path and get our cul-de-sac there. At that point, it was, I believe, 13 lots on the subdivision. And, you know, an extensive roadway. You folks had concerns about the work in the 50-foot buffer zone. We had no way to put the road there without going through the 50-foot buffer zone. So we really dug in, did a lot more survey work, and really a lot more actual digging. And we did find a pipe on our property that's kind of buried, but it's a drainage pipe that goes off in a northerly direction out to the river, 500 feet away, whatever it is. And it's a big giant pipe. There's a little bit of water trickling through there, but it's not plugged, it's not full. There's plenty of capacity left, so by doing that, the issue that I kept hopping on with you folks of not being able to get the grades to work to put the drainage back this way, we can now get the road to pitch down to Bryant Street, put a set of catch basins right at the end of Bryant Street, and propose a detention basin right in that area of our property. And like all of the detention basins do, it'll handle all of the flow, and the overflow will go out to that pipe where it's already going.
So you don't need a big basin.
Right, it's, you know, it'd be a lot better if we had more room there. Just, you've got that existing wetland up against that house, so it's gonna be small and narrow. But it's gonna look like a swale in your yard, basically.
And there won't be a retention area.
Exactly. The water will, most of it should leach out, but in the case that it doesn't leach out, it'll go down the pipe. So my complaints about having a pond
if you just
and
did
all
this
of
in the
that.
beginning,
I
then all
know,
set.
I should've just shut up and did what you said, you know?
You wanted to bill me twice.
Yeah, that's it. It's a whole new design, so he gets to pay twice. I get to argue a little bit. I don't fight with my wife when I get home because I did it with you instead. So everybody was happy.
What was the pipe for?
It was just probably for the drainage of the field,
I'm sure
right?
it was, yeah, I'm sure it was just something else to drain the field. It went under the street. There's kind of, you know, we had talked about it.
Took natural drainage and.
Yeah, and it's,
That was the low part of the field.
yeah,
and
exactly, yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
they just had an agreement with homeowners and said, hey, can I dig
Yep.
your backyard up and put a
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
they
pipe?
did it.
Sometimes the town did it, and sometimes the neighbors just did it amongst themselves. In this case, it's probably a combination of the town did it 50, 80 years ago, and you did it. It's just a combination of everybody doing it, and it's,
But it's not caved in?
no,
or-
it's a pretty impressive structure, really. They're all, you know, the pipes, and when you get down to the river, to the outfall, I believe there's 3 pipes that exit there. Where the other 2 are coming from, I don't know, but there's 3 pipes, and like I said, they're all clean, there's no blockage, the pipes aren't crushed, there's nothing stuck in their way.
It's clean water,
Yeah.
so it's,
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask.
it looks like it's just natural
How-
groundwater
Yeah.
at this point that's
Yep.
flowing.
How do we know it's clean water?
Oh, 'cause you,
Coming out of it,
He
it looks
licked
like
it.
just regular spring water, I mean, it's.
I did drink it. It was,
Yeah. Yeah, like
I'm still here.
You just drank
Oh,
it.
you drank it?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. No,
But no, I mean, it
But I
it
would.
doesn't, there's nothing
you
that
want me
looks
to, I will.
contaminated in it.
I would do that, but I mean, it's clean water.
I wanna
It
see you
looks-
do it, go ahead.
Yeah, what do I care?
Hey,
Yeah.
Tim, do we have these plans yet?
No, no,
Okay. I was saying,
no,
I think
it's
I've
still,
seen
you know, it's literally hot off the press at 4 o'clock today, we're still working on it. So it's, I mean, I could leave these with you if you just wanted to look at them, but it'll change again tomorrow, and the next day, we'll get you,
Might
you
as
know.
well continue it.
Yeah, exactly, we'll get you the updated plans, hopefully within a week, we'll be
Keep
done
work-
with everything.
Keep
and-
working on it to make it better.
Yeah, well, it's, you know,
But at least that now says, yeah, it can work.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So when we found it, we called Tim up and said, hey, we got this pipe, what do you think? And, he looked at it and it seemed to make sense. And then I think you went out and tracked it down
Yeah,
to the river as well, just to make, because we were concerned, do we need to do some kind of test to make sure it's getting from point A to point B?
Right.
But we all agree it's clean and flowing out there perfectly, so,
So just because you guys agree,
yes.
doesn't mean that I believe that.
No, you don't have to.
So, I would like to know, is that water gonna get tested, that water comes out, that it's clean? Because the reason I ask is when I first moved here, I came down the river and I saw these pipes coming down from people's homes,
Oh, yeah.
going directly into the river. Is this one of those pipes?
No,
And
no.
I
It's not laundry,
I
it's not
guarantee,
work.
I
This is a big
guarantee you
pipe.
this
This is
one's
a
probably
drainage
cleaner
pipe.
than those pipes that are coming off, because all the drainage from the roads, salt and all that crap go right down the river.
How
on that
about
one.
fertilizer?
Well, nothing's ever
Pesticide,
been
you
in that
mean, right?
field except field.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you ask about
Pesticide.
fertilizer.
It's probably, they're,
I'm sure he fertilized and pesticide,
Oh,
every
yeah.
farmer does.
Yep.
And every farmer did, and he's farmed it for how many years? So, yeah, I'm sure there was fertilizer and pesticide in the soil to grow the crops, sure.
As always.
but I can tell
I
you.
mean, I'm being honest with you. It's
Well,
The
I
way it's done
guarantee
in
it was.
farm today is a lot different than it was
Yeah, exactly.
20, 30
Yeah.
years ago.
My
so-
uncle had a farm, I can still smell it, the barn, it was, I'm amazed we don't all have 3 heads for the amount of chemicals that,
Yeah.
again, back in the day, 50 years ago, that we used on the farm. They don't do it now like it
And there's
used to
only-
be.
there's only a certain amount you can put down to it at certain times.
Yeah,
So,
And I will say that with the price of chemicals and the price of fertilizer,
especially today.
they're
Organic,
not
yeah.
putting down more than they need.
No.
that's why it's all
I
called
mean, it's
organic.
just not happening.
Yeah.
So, you're saying there's not much fertilizer in the water, or there's none? What are you saying to me?
Well, they're, most of the time when this is fertilized, in the current condition that it is, it's done so that the fertilizer goes into the soil, not runoff.
Yeah.
You don't wanna do it when you're gonna get a torrential rainstorm.
Yeah.
Not saying that we may get a torrential rainstorm after it's fertilized, and there may be some nitrogen runoff, but it should be minimal.
Yeah, I mean, Tim,
it,
from working on the farm all my grown-up years, you put the fertilizer down, and the hope is that it stays around that plant for 3 or 4 weeks and just slowly leaches into the ground, and it gets absorbed by the plant, and that's what
And
Okay,
it
just
grows your
ask-
corn.
And it does clean itself as
Yeah,
it's found
exactly,
it down.
exactly. And the plant sucks up all the nitrogen and potassium that's in it, gets sucked up by the plant. It's not going off to the river 600 feet away.
And
Oh.
this is stormwater runoff on impervious surfaces,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
It's
if you're
filtered
fertilizing
before
the
it even
driveway,
gets
you
to
got,
that pipe.
you got a problem.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was,
It salt's
back
bad
in the
enough on
farming
the
day,
roads
it
with
was
the town.
filtered long
That's
ago.
all that,
Yeah,
so.
kills almost.
Yep.
It's everything. You got worse. Yep. You probably should investigate your area, your
I have,
house.
I
You
have.
probably get some a lot of fines.
Just wanna bring up that water line, how we'll be outside of the 50, but what we had to do when that
Yep.
was in.
So, I'll show the plan. So we still do need, again, similar to Manny's situation, the water department and DPW still want us to try to loop the water mains and not have this long dead end main. So we still are going out to Bryant Street, back where the road is, but we're staying out of your 50-foot buffer zone. We'll be right up against it, but we're staying, that little area there that we were, putting the road in, and you kept asking if we can shift it. There's room there to put the water line in, so we'll be, we'll be looping from Bryant Street and coming out from South Street and coming out to our subdivision road. As Charlie said, it'll just be a temporary work, similar to the wetlands crossing on Manny's project. It'll just be that day to get the water line in, then it's covered over and goes back to the way it was.
How deep does that go?
5 feet.
5 feet.
Yeah, you gotta get below the frost line.
which side of the road's that water line on?
The other
On
side.
South Street?
The other side, I talked to him
On-
about.
yeah, yep.
Yeah,
They're gonna wait the 5-year moratorium
Yeah.
to do the final hookup, or they're
Yeah.
gonna do
No, he
directional
won't.
boring, or?
He wants me to cut it, pave it, and then infrared after we're all done, let it settle and everything else we talked about.
Yeah, we met with the DPW director maybe last Monday.
Yeah, probably about 2 Mondays ago, and
Yeah.
then yesterday we had met with the water commissioner just to see if they had any input, and they were happy that because we have to tie that in with an 8-inch from South Street,
Yeah.
because Bryant has a 4-inch water main.
Now, just asking, would it make sense to go to the end of the cul-de-sac? I know it's a longer distance, but
From where to where?
we'll go from the end of the cul-de-sac to South Street, instead of halfway down the subdivision road. Just
Well,
put it out
we-
there, we're
yeah.
gonna have to do a a connection.
We're still running the water all the way down there, it'll just be this section of road is
Which
dead
would be
end.
dead end.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I was just
Yeah.
saying, similar to
Yeah.
Manny's situation,
Yep.
if you were at the
Oh,
end of
from
the
there.
cul-de-sac and went,
There's no way to go though, except
well,
all the way
well,
through
right
the
through
field,
the
out to
field,
like
and,
AZAC's
right,
property, yeah.
Manny's going
We-
through the forest and the woods and the wetlands.
We honestly talked to the DPW about it, and they said, well, it would be more beneficial to kind of work the loop between South Street and Bryant Street than to get it to go all the way out to
And
that
then
end of
down
South
to that
Street.
end of
Yeah,
South Street.
exactly.
Their concern is
I just-
Bryant's only a 4-inch, so they're
Yeah.
going to upgrade that infrastructure at some time.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're
we
getting
did-
the same type of
yeah,
idea
yep,
that
yep,
it's the end of
yep.
the cul-de-sac.
No, we did,
from
yeah,
one
we
dead
did
end
talk
to
to,
another.
that's what we said, if we went that way, we'd have this for a dead end, we'd have a shorter dead end that way. Either way, we're gonna have a dead end somewhere. But
Right.
Water Department and the DPW felt like it was better to go to Bryant Street so we can get that flow working better, so.
So what are we looking at for lots?
Uh,
9 in the house would be number 10.
Yep, so right now there's 10 lots within the subdivision, like Charlie said, that's the existing one, so 9 new lots.
I'm counting them, but I don't,
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
okay,
6,
Yeah.
7, no, not 6, but yeah, 7, 8, 9, so there's going that way.
And,
Yep.
and what's the progress on still working on the plans to making it better?
Yeah, exactly,
Oh,
we're,
yeah.
I mean, it's literally, you know, like I said, this is hot off the presses at 4 o'clock, so we're still
So-
working on it. We still have, Pat Brennan's original review, which most of the comments are still, you know, relatable to this as opposed to that road, there's still the same comments, so, you know, like I said, I'm hoping we get it to you within a week, and,
2 weeks to the,
yeah, yep, and then that'll give us a chance to get it to Tim, get it out to everybody, and get it back to Pat, to get more comments going for a
Anything
second review.
changing on that, is that a detention?
Coming through here, this is a detention basin here.
Anything changing on that?
Yeah, the only comment we had originally, we had the outlet over here,
Mhm.
and I believe this gentleman came to the meeting, and I think you
Yeah.
mentioned it, Tim, at the
The-
very first one. You
the-
wanted us to get the outlet
Yeah,
on the
right.
other side of the basin,
Yeah.
just so when it overflows. So we now have the outlet over there.
Any changes on the size of it? No.
I think it's a
Yes.
little bit bigger, just because we had to, we're kinda locked into the size that we can get here, so it's a little bit bigger than it was previously, but it's essentially the same place, same depth, it really didn't change that much.
have you ever seen them overflow? I know the basin in my community, it's never
Yeah,
near the
It's-
overflow,
I mean,
never.
I'm sure it's happened, but I think when it happens, you're tucked away in your house and you wouldn't notice it. If it
Well,
happens,
it's-
it's relatively
it's-
quick, but,
It's-
I mean, with the pipes and they're designed for the 100-year storm event, which is over-designed to what so everything's way over-designed and has a big buffer to it already,
No,
so
that's all normal
I've
now.
never seen water.
it might be
run out.
normal, but
That's
still,
not- It's normal.
the design, all of these designs, the numbers you have to use are just,
Yeah.
like, assuming you use 110 gallons per bedroom. I mean, that's just a boatload of water for one person to use every single day.
Right.
So, your 4-bedroom house is almost 500 gallons of water,
Yeah, baby.
My kids
Better
take
off
long
to be
showers, but
Teenagers
Yeah,
take
enough to
long
be
showers.
prepared
it
for
can't be
though.
that long though, 500 gallons is a boatload of water.
It's
It's a
just
big
those-
water bill.
Yeah, those numbers are just way out of whack, so, it hardly ever happens, I've never seen one, overspill, but,
Scott, when I'm walking down Bryant Street and I'm at the
Yep.
existing structure,
right here.
there's a existing detention or retention bait. There's a big pool of water there on the left.
Across the street,
No, on the same side.
Yep.
In between you and your neighbor.
over here,
Oh, nope, over this way.
on this side, yes, exactly.
Where is that located?
Yep,
Is that
that's-
on his property or your property?
It's right on the border. You guys had, I say you guys, the commission had a notice of intent,
For a septic system upgrade.
yeah, 5 years ago maybe.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it's pretty much right on the property line.
Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe even a little bit more on ours, but it's
Is that gonna drain back down and out to the river now?
that, I think that just kinda goes back, it doesn't make it out to the street, but I think it does eventually fill up and get into that pipe that we're talking about. So it'll get
Okay.
back to that pipe and head out to the river. So that's probably one of the watersheds that gets out to the river as well.
Did you scope that pipe or run water down it? How'd you guys,
No, as we said, we kinda looked at it and felt like it was,
How big was
it was open and,
It was running, right?
It's so
Yeah.
overgrown,
Irrigated
I mean,
Yep.
part of my recommendation is gonna be that pipe, the head wall of it,
Yep.
clean it out while
Yep.
we're doing it.
Yep.
If you're there, you've got equipment,
Yep.
you're building a road, just Cause right now, it's just all briars and
Yeah,
brush and
it's
debris.
thick, and that's why we
It's-
didn't see it in the first place.
Right.
It's just complete, you don't even know that there's a hole there, it's just
Yeah.
completely covered up. So as part of the basin construction, Charlie will have to go in there and clean that out anyways, just so it'll act as an overflow, so it can get there.
Or might benefit from the other side too.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
might
it-
open up their little drainage ditch and allow it a place to flow out.
To flow
Yeah.
better and.
Yep. I think ultimately they won't have any standing water that they have now during the wet season. I think would probably leave and get into that pipe now, that right now it's probably dammed up.
Yeah.
I'm
Would be my guess, looking
Yeah.
at the vegetation that's
Yep.
around it, I'm thinking the Gibsons,
Yep.
when they stopped farming the fields, kind of just let everything go.
Yeah, exactly, just gave up on it.
Back in the
Keep
day, I
it
think
clean.
all the neighbors,
Yep.
there's probably a few cleanouts or manholes in people's
Yep.
backyards,
Yep.
and,
Yeah, some pumps that drain to it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Alright, well, come back to us, make it better.
Yes, we'll
All
keep
set.
working it.
I guess I'll entertain a motion to continue to July
July
21st.
21st?
Move
Yep.
that. I'll move that.
Okay,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, good luck.
all right,
Awesome.
thanks, guys. Thanks for the time.
Alright. Manny, stop causing problems, will ya?
I'm trying not to.
Christ.
I'm really not trying to.
All I do is hear your name.
I know. I
Those
was
issues.
afraid to go outside. I thought I was gonna have a lynch mob. Afraid when I turn my key on, truck's not gonna blow up.
Well, I think a
Usually
lot
I
of
act as his
people don't
bodyguard as
understand.
well as his
No,
engineer, so.
There's a lot of fear when they don't understand everything.
All I can say is West Bridgewater has a killer planning board and a killer conservation board that
Thank you.
is common sense and like
That helps.
fits the box and does all their homework and, you know, makes what's right is right and wrong is wrong. And we don't have that in a lot of towns or cities. So it's pretty nice to have a good
That's the
board.
goal, Manny.
How's everything up your end? Clean?
Very clean.
Everything not?
Mr.
everything-
Mr. Stetson drives by
I don't
it
give
every
up.
day.
Oh, yeah, so, everything is supposed, put away where it's stuff's supposed to be and not sitting where it's not supposed to be?
100%.
Alright.
Hey, this was one thing that I never brought up, Tim. They're worried about pollution, all this stuff. I'm the only guy in West Bridgewater that put wells in on my own to make sure that they could check the water wells.
You should bring that up.
No, I got enough. I don't want to bring
No, you
anything
should
up.
just bring that up and just say, hey, I'm a good
Thank you,
person.
ladies and gentlemen. You guys did a great job. Thank
See you
you.
guys.
Hey Manny, did you get that at Costco?
Will you stop copying me?
Alright, what's the next one is? 0 Matfield Street. For request to continue to June 16th.
Yes.
Nothing there
They,
anything going on?
There's, in the process of trying to get their review done for the Brockton part of the project,
Yeah.
and that hasn't even started yet.
Mhm.
Our 53G review has already done his first round. There were 8 comments sent back. I had some additional comments, basically to do with the seeding and maintenance under the power company easement,
Mm.
and a little buffer restoration on the north side of the project that had been disturbed, so they're tweaking the plan and adding that. And then they have the planning board hearing opens on the 17th, but hopefully we'll have some feedback, because they've already started their review process.
Alright, so entertain a motion to continue to June 16th.
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the next one is 194 South Main Street, and they're also requesting to continue to August 4th.
And I can give you an update, and that is because they're having to go back to the design board with their architect. The zoning board did not allow the warehouse use
Oh, really?
in the zoning application.
Mm.
Why?
So
They
just didn't want to have warehousing in the business district.
Oh, business, okay, yeah, that's true, yeah. I
That's
understand
more
that.
of an industrial kind
Yeah,
of
that's
use,
true,
not a
yeah.
business district use.
Yeah.
So they're working between the engineer, the architect, and the owner to figure out how or what they could work with in the redesign to make it all work.
Wow.
So that's why they
Okay.
asked for the August date.
Alright, I'll entertain a motion to continue to August 4th.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And there's nothing to sign, or does?
Nope,
No,
nothing to
okay.
sign.
Anything else anybody got to say?
Yes, I would like to
Yes.
from the MACC, they sent an action alert, a letter for some action we might want to take individually about a bond bill, environmental bond bill. Do you know what
Yeah,
about?
some of the verbiage that they're trying to attach to the environmental bond bill, there's parts of it that could theoretically water down the Wetland Protection Act.
Yeah.
To fast track certain projects and take away oversight, and
Oh, really?
so they were sending out, I've sent a letter in on my
Representing.
behalf,
Yeah.
and I've sent one as a conservation agent,
Good.
asking
Not to.
them to not put those, remove those sections
Yeah.
from the bill, if they can do that. But
Sure you
anybody
weren't-
that else
sure you
wants
weren't
to.
alone either.
No, it's been,
I'm sure they probably just threw that out to everybody and figured, well, let's see who just gets back to us and who doesn't. If
Yeah,
it goes through, goes through.
I think from my looking at it is, it's part of the whole housing initiative and the
Yeah.
energy initiative
Yeah.
that the governor's pushing right now. And this is a way to fast track things and make things go
Well, that's not a good, that's not a good.
quicker, which doesn't always work right. And having the oversight, I think, leave it the way it is and let the process work.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you for doing that.
I will also remind everybody, if the weather holds, Riverwalk is this Sunday. So if anybody's wanting to take a walk down River Street and enjoy the new sidewalks, that would be
That's right.
a good day to do it.
It
Is
is
it rain
such
or
a.
shine, or is it?
There is a rain date the next Sunday if it's that bad, but right now it just says chance of showers. So my guess is it's gonna be a go.
Okay.
I'm having so much fun
You're gonna-
watching everybody go up and down the sidewalks.
You're gonna have some cookies and you're gonna make some breads?
You want cookies?
Well, that's stuff at your house. I'm gonna knock on the door.
Oh dear, better get on it.
All right, so, anybody got? No?
That's it.
Entertain the motion to adjourn.
Motion moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.